Hi, I'm Jake, 32, and last month my life blew up when my mom sent me a bill for $347,000. The subject line? The cost of raising a disappointment. She CC'd the entire family. 48 people. From my cousins in San Diego to my great-aunt in Bar Harbor. No one was spared. It wasn't a joke. It was an Excel spreadsheet so detailed it included the price of baby wipes and my orthodontist's name from 2005. But I'm not Jake in this story. I'm Bianca Moore, 28, and that email was real. My mother sent it on Mother's Day. No warning. No warm brunch invitation. Just that subject line, followed by 26 pages of itemized expenses and passive-aggressive commentary. She thought I'd beg. She thought I'd crumble, call her in tears, swear to repay every cent, vow to become more like my sister Vicky, Harvard Law, married with a $1.5 million starter home, and mom's golden girl. She thought wrong. I didn't reply with an apology. I didn't call. I didn't cry. I replied with a single photo. By the next morning, 47 relatives had blocked her. And the 48th, my grandmother, didn't block her. She did something far worse. But before I tell you what that photo was, and how it turned a family reunion into a televised-level meltdown, you need to understand the setup. See, I work as a financial analyst in Boston. Numbers make sense to me. They don't play games, they don't gaslight you. They're honest. Unlike the woman who raised me. Growing up, Vicky was the future. I was the footnote. She got parties, praise, piano lessons, college tuition. I got a text 3 weeks late that said, "Congrats." No period. No emoji. When I got my first apartment? I didn't know my credit score was 520. Turns out, someone had opened 3 credit cards in my name. Turns out, someone had been claiming me as a dependent for 6 years after I moved out. Turns out, someone had stolen my college fund, all $89,000 of it, and used it to buy herself a Lexus. Guess who that someone was? So yeah? When she sent me a bill for $347,000 and tried to roast me in front of the family like I was the stuffing on Thanksgiving, I hit send on something I'd kept buried for 3 years. 3 files. A screenshot, a spreadsheet, and a PDF. By noon, the family wasn't just texting me back. They were texting her the words I'd waited my whole life to hear. What the hell is wrong with you? The morning she sent the bill, I was making lemon pancakes for Marcus, my boyfriend of 2 years, an actual angel in flannel pajama pants, when I heard the ding-ding-ding of a dozen texts coming in. By the time I opened my inbox, the message had already made its way through 3 group chats, 2 cousin-side threads, and somehow ended up forwarded to my office email. Subject line: the cost of raising a disappointment. Attachment: Bianca_expenses_Excel file. Message body: to the family, since Bianca has made it clear she no longer values maternal contributions, I thought transparency was overdue. You all deserve to know what being her mother has cost me. Emotionally, spiritually, and especially financially. Underneath that was a table. Row by row. Birth expenses, $12,438. Diapers, 0 to 3, $2,800. Food, clothing, birthday parties, $34,200. Summer camp 2007, where I cried every night from homesickness and came home with a tick, $1,450. College room and board, $48,000. Cell phone plan 2012 to 2019, $8,400. Emotional wear and tear, priceless. The total, $347,013, 78. And then the kicker. If anyone feels inspired to contribute toward Bianca's outstanding balance, I've included my Venmo. She wasn't kidding. The woman sent a Venmo link to 48 people. Marcus stopped pouring coffee and stared at my phone. She actually itemized your existence. Yep, I said, flipping a pancake. And assigned interest. At first I laughed. Like a laugh-sob hybrid that made Marcus drop the spatula and hug me from behind. But by the time I sat down with my laptop and opened the folder I'd named insurance, the laughter had gone cold. It wasn't a joke anymore. It was proof time. 3 years ago, I'd stumbled across something I wasn't supposed to see. I'd been helping Vicky set up her new iPad at her condo. While syncing her iCloud, a message popped up. From Mom. The preview said, Don't tell her. If Richard finds out, we both lose. Vicky had swiped it away fast, then fake coughed and handed me the iPad like it was on fire. I played dumb, but that message hit me like a punch. That night, I started collecting. Quietly. I requested my credit report. Found 3 cards I never opened. Pulled old tax records. Found 6 years where Mom fraudulently claimed me. Called the bank Grandma had used for our education trusts. Confirmed that my $89,000 had been withdrawn 1 month before I started freshman year. All signs pointed to one person. And I never said a word. Not when I was denied an apartment because of the cards. Not when I worked double shifts to cover student loan payments that shouldn't exist. Not when my mother used every holiday to compare me to my sister like I was the cheap knockoff. I stayed quiet. Until Mother's Day, when she invited everyone to Grandma Eleanor's house for a special celebration. When she stood in front of the entire extended family, raised a glass, and said, "Today, I want to toast the daughter who taught me patience. And the one who tested every last ounce of it." When she pulled out her phone, pressed send, and watched 48 phones buzz with the email attachment. The cost of raising a disappointment. I didn't react. Not the way she expected. I watched the room. The glances. The muffled laughter. The awkward coughs. And then I spoke. "Since we're talking numbers," I said, walking to the center of the room. I brought a few of my own. Marcus told me later I looked like a lawyer on closing arguments. Calm. Precise. Lethal. I'd opened the first file, a PDF showing a full withdrawal of $89,000 from the education trust set up by Grandma and Grandpa Harrison. Dated August 3, 2016. Transferred to a Linda Moore. The same week she bought a new car. I'd opened the second, a spreadsheet from my CPA, showing 6 years of fraudulent tax filings. Total benefit, $32,000. I opened the third, scanned copies of credit card applications in my name, statements mailed to Vicky's address. Total debt? $47,000. And then I said the one line I dreamed of saying for years. "You think I'm a disappointment, Mom? Turns out I was just your cover story." The silence that followed wasn't ordinary. It was the kind that settles when people realize they're not watching a family squabble, they're watching a crime scene. Mom stood there, one hand still holding her wine glass, the other hanging at her side like it had forgotten how to move. Her face? Pale. Tight. Like someone trying to calculate how many lies could be patched in under 30 seconds. Vicky looked like she was about to vaporize. Her eyes bounced between me, the crowd, and Mom like she was trying to find the nearest trap door to fall through. Uncle Robert was the first to speak. "Linda, is this true?" She didn't answer. Just blinked rapidly and muttered something about misunderstandings and taking things out of context. I let her squirm. Let the weight of it settle in the room like dust from a bomb. Then I dropped the Rio Grenade. "There's one more thing." I pulled out my phone again. Opened the fourth file, a screenshot. This one, I'd saved for a reason. I turned the screen toward the room. Just a simple message. Dated 3 years ago. From Linda Moore to Victoria Moore. "This one isn't Richard's biological child. Don't tell anyone. If he finds out, he'll leave me. And I'll lose everything." You could hear the collective inhale from the family like someone had opened a vacuum seal on 28 years of secrets. Dad's fork slipped off his plate. It clattered so loudly the dog barked in the next room. What?" he croaked. He looked at Mom like he was staring at a stranger. "Linda, is that true?" Her face collapsed. The mascara, the practiced smirk, the queen of the room posture, all of it disintegrated at once. "It was one time," she whispered. "I was 17. It was a mistake. But I thought if I loved her enough, if I pretended, it wouldn't matter." "But you didn't pretend," I said quietly. "You punished me. Every day. For being born." Her legs gave out. Before we continue, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot for me. Thanks. She sat on the couch like someone had unplugged her from the wall. Grandma Eleanor didn't move to help her. I suspected. Grandma said, her voice like a hammer wrapped in lace. "The way you treated that girl. I knew something was wrong." Dad stood. Rigid. Pale. He didn't say a word. He just turned and walked out the front door. Richard! Mom called after him. The door slammed behind him. It was Vicky who spoke next. She sent that message to me 3 years ago, she said. Her voice was small. Made me promise never to tell. Said Bianca would never find out. You could feel the room turning. The momentum shifting. The villain edit was complete. And I wasn't the one wearing the black hat. Mom tried one last time to grab the narrative. I made mistakes, she said, tears now streaming. But everything I did for this family. Funny, I said. Because everything you did was actually for you. She lunged toward me, face twisted. You're ungrateful. You should be thanking me for the life I gave you. I am, I said. Because it taught me how to survive people like you. And then, the final act, I walked to the mantel, reached up, and took down the framed bill. I turned to the room. Anyone want this? I asked. No? Cool. I dropped it face down on the floor. The glass shattered. That's when Grandma Eleanor stood. She cleared her throat. And when she spoke, her voice carried more command than Mom's ever had. Bianca, she said, come to my office tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock sharp. Bring no one. Mom's head snapped around. Mama, what are you doing? But Grandma didn't answer her. She was looking at me. And in her eyes I saw something I hadn't seen in 28 years. Respect. I showed up at Grandma Eleanor's house the next morning exactly at 8:59 a.m. She was already in the study. The curtains were open, the desk was spotless except for a stack of legal folders, and a man in a gray suit stood beside her. I recognized him immediately, Thomas Jameson, the family's estate attorney. Grandma didn't waste time. Sit down, Bianca. I sat. My palms were sweating, but I kept my expression neutral. The only other time I'd seen Thomas was at Grandpa's funeral, when he read the will. The tone in the room today felt eerily similar. I didn't block your mother yesterday, Grandma said, her voice clipped. Do you want to know why? Yes. Because blocking her would have been too kind. She slid a document across the desk. I didn't touch it right away. At 2:17 this morning, she continued, I called Thomas. Woke him out of a dead sleep. By 4 a.m., we had a revised draft of my will. I blinked. Wait, your will? You think I've spent 78 years letting people like your mother get away with things? She wanted to publicly humiliate you. Now I'll publicly humiliate her, legally. I picked up the document. Your mother was originally set to inherit 35% of my estate. She said, calm as tea on a Sunday. I've reduced that to 5. Just enough to keep her from contesting it. My mouth went dry. Your portion, she said, has increased from 10% to 30%. I couldn't speak. Thomas Jameson cleared his throat. Mrs. Harrison's remaining assets have been adjusted accordingly. Richard's portion remains unchanged. Your grandmother wanted to ensure fairness. My hands trembled. I wasn't asking for this. I didn't come here for money. Grandma's voice softened. I know. That's exactly why you deserve it. She got up and walked to the window. The Connecticut sun spilled across acres of farmland, her pride and joy. I started suspecting something was wrong with Linda years ago, she said, staring outside. The way she treated you. The way she always had an excuse. I stayed quiet. Your grandfather and I set up equal college funds for both you and Vicky. Identical, $89,000 each. She turned back to me. We knew Linda might not manage things wisely. But I never imagined she'd steal from her own daughter. You couldn't have known. I should have. Her voice cracked slightly. When you graduated with all that debt, I asked if I could help. Linda told me you refused. Said you wanted to do it on your own. That's what she said? Grandma nodded. She said you were trying to prove a point. I almost laughed. Yeah. That I didn't need anyone. That I was strong enough to do it all myself. She lied to me, Bianca. She's been lying to all of us. Grandma reached into the drawer of her desk and pulled out a cream-colored envelope. She handed it to me. I wrote you a graduation card. Linda told me you didn't want it. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a check, dated 2020, for $50,000. And a letter in her delicate handwriting. To my granddaughter Bianca. May your future be brighter than anyone expects. You've always been extraordinary. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Love, Grandma Eleanor. I blinked hard, trying to see the words through sudden tears. I would have given it to you sooner, she said gently. But I needed to be sure I could trust you with it. And yesterday? You proved more than that. You proved you're a woman of courage and integrity. I wiped my face. Thank you? I don't know what to say. Say you'll build something beautiful with it. Something that's yours. I nodded. As I got up to leave, she said, One more thing, Bianca. I turned. Linda hasn't just lost her money. She's lost her legacy. And that was the moment it clicked. Yesterday wasn't just a reckoning. It was a transfer of power. I was walking to my car, still clutching the envelope with the $50,000 check like it might float away, when I saw her. Vicky. Leaning against the silver Audi that probably cost more than my student loans, no makeup, hair in a messy ponytail, face puffy from crying. She looked human. Which, if you knew my sister, was newsworthy. Bianca, she called softly. I kept walking. Please, she said. Just 2 minutes. I'm not here to fight. I stopped at my car door but didn't open it. You've got 1 minute. She took a breath. I know I don't deserve anything from you. I know that. But I need you to understand. I didn't know about the credit cards. Not at first. My eyes narrowed. So when did you figure it out? After you charged $8,000 to a card with my name on it for your engagement ring? Vicky winced. I thought Mom had your permission. She told me you knew. That you were helping. I believed her. You believed her? I repeated. After everything she's done to me since we were kids? She swallowed hard. I was scared. Scared she'd turn on me the way she turned on you. I saw what that did to you, Bianca. And I was selfish. I didn't want to be her next target. I didn't say anything. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said. But I did. And I'm sorry. We stood there, awkwardly, two sisters on the edge of a wrecked dynasty. I can't forgive you, I said finally. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I understand why you did what you did. Fear makes people do horrible things. Vicky looked away, blinking fast. You know what scares me now, she said. Not Mom. Not losing the money. You. I tilted my head. Me? You didn't just survive her, she said. You exposed her. In front of everyone. That takes guts. And you did it alone. I nodded slowly. Yeah. I did. She tried to smile. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. I need time, I said. I know. She turned to go. And just like that, we parted without drama, no hugs, no emotional speeches. Just two sisters who finally saw each other clearly, maybe for the first time ever. Later that night, Aunt Patricia called. She'd somehow become the unofficial family liaison in the aftermath, relaying gossip with the efficiency of a war correspondent. She found out about the will. She said no preamble. Mom! She called Grandma screaming. Said she was being manipulated. Said Eleanor's too old to know what she's doing. Threatened to sue. What did Grandma say? I asked. One sentence. Then she hung up. What was it? You made your choices for 28 years. I've made mine. I sat in silence. And your dad? Patricia asked. Staying with his brother in Hartford. Divorce papers were filed yesterday. A full-scale implosion. 30 years of marriage gone in days. And Linda? I asked. Calling everyone. Leaving voicemails, sending emails. Begging people to reach out to Grandma for her. Nobody's replying. I should have felt triumph. But I didn't. That night Marcus looked at me over dinner and asked, Do you feel guilty? I thought about it. Really thought. No, I said. But I don't feel victorious either. I just feel done. He reached across the table, took my hand. That's enough. I nodded. It's like an infected wound, I said. It hurt for years. I just didn't realize how deep it ran. What happened at that house? That wasn't revenge. That was surgery. And now? Now came the healing. 2 months later, life started to feel like mine again. My credit score had climbed to 748. My student loans were down to $23,000, thanks to the check Grandma Eleanor insisted I cash. I didn't wipe the debt completely. I didn't want to. I needed to know I could do this on my own terms. Marcus and I moved in together. A Cambridge apartment with actual counter space and a washer-dryer that didn't sound like a freight train. We signed the lease together. No family input. No favors. Just us. Dad came by on moving day. He brought a houseplant and a bottle of wine. His eyes were tired but lighter somehow. He stayed longer than planned, helped build a bookshelf, and left with one of Marcus's homemade lasagnas. "How are you doing?" I asked him as we stood on my new balcony, watching the sun sink over the city. He exhaled slowly. "Getting there. Divorce final yet?" "Next month. I'm still at your Uncle Bill's. Looking at apartments. And therapists." He gave a small smile. "I haven't cried this much since you were born." I looked at him sideways. "Still sure I'm your daughter?" "Absolutely," he said. "DNA's got nothing on 2A.M. Diaper changes and third-grade science fairs." He hugged me before he left. "You were braver than me, B. You told the truth. I just lived around it. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. We'd started a new tradition, Sunday dinners. Just Dad and me, sometimes Marcus, sometimes Grandma. No drama, no guilt. Just food and space to breathe. Then 3 weeks after we moved, an envelope arrived. No return address. Postmarked from Ohio. Inside was a single typed page. "Dear Miss Moore, I received your DNA profile through 23andMe and discovered we share a biological connection. My name is Michael. I believe I may be your father. I am not seeking anything from you. I have no expectations. I just thought you deserved to know I exist. If you ever want to talk, I'm here. Michael." Phone number. I sat with that letter in my lap for a long time. Marcus came home from a run, saw me staring at it, and asked, "Good mail or bad mail?" "Neither," I said. "Existential mail." I told him everything. About Michael. The DNA match. The complete lack of pressure in the letter, and how that somehow made it harder to ignore. "He's not trying to insert himself into my life," I said. "Just showing up at the edge of it." "Sounds like he respects you," Marcus said. "That's rare." I nodded. "I'm not ready. But I don't want to shut the door completely either." So I sat down at my laptop and wrote a reply. "Dear Michael, thank you for your letter and for your kindness. I'm not ready to meet or talk right now. I need time to process everything. But I appreciate you letting me know you exist. That matters. I'll reach out if and when I'm ready. Bianca." I hit send. Then I made dinner. Because some truths are urgent. And others can wait. But not all of them. She showed up on a Tuesday. I was leaving my office, coffee in hand, brain full of spreadsheets and payroll projections, when I saw her. My mother. Standing near the parking lot. Thinner. Older. Makeup free. "Bianca," she said. I stopped walking. "I've been trying to reach you," she said. "Your number's blocked. Your emails bounce back. That's intentional." "I know," she whispered. She took a step forward. Can we talk?" "No." She blinked. "You don't get to ambush me outside my job and pretend this is a reconciliation montage. That's not how boundaries work. I'm your mother. You're the woman who stole from me, lied to me, and treated me like a walking receipt for your regrets." Her face crumpled. "You can't cut me out forever." "I'm not cutting you out forever," I said. "I'm cutting you out until you learn that no means no. Until you understand that I don't owe you my peace just because you share my DNA. And yeah, that might be forever. That's up to you now." She started crying. Real tears this time. But I didn't move. "For what it's worth," she said, voice shaking, "I wish I'd been different." "I wish that too," I said. And then I walked past her. She didn't follow. I saw her in the rearview mirror as I pulled out of the lot. Standing alone. Hands at her sides. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the one trembling. I didn't look back. Not that day, not the next. Not when she left me 3 voicemails, all some version of, "You misunderstood me," or, "I was just trying to do my best." I didn't respond. Because I'd finally understood something I never had before. You don't need permission to walk away from someone who's hurting you, just the courage to do it. The Sunday after that parking lot ambush, Dad and I ate dinner on my apartment balcony. He brought Thai takeout, and the plant he gave me on move-in day, now miraculously alive. Guess I didn't kill it, he said proudly, setting it down. I was rooting for you. I smiled. So was I. We didn't talk about Mom much anymore. It was an unspoken agreement, the kind of boundary that needed no explanation. Instead, we talked about my job, Marcus, his new one-bedroom in Hartford, how he was learning to make bread like he'd seen on YouTube. Turns out I'm good at focaccia, he said. Who knew? You're a man of mystery, I teased. After dinner, he got up to leave, and before he walked out the door, he turned. You're not just brave, B, he said. You're free. I don't think you've realized that yet. I thought about that for a long time. That week, I went to the bank. Deposited the check from Grandma Eleanor. Paid off a big chunk of my loans. Not because I needed to erase the past, but because I was finally building a future where it didn't define me. Then, Marcus did something I didn't see coming. He knelt on the kitchen floor, not some big production, not a fancy restaurant. Just us, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes and a sink full of dishes, and asked if I wanted to build something permanent. A ring in his hand. A real one. One bought with his own money. No fraud, no stolen identity, no borrowed shame. I said yes. 3 weeks later, I stood outside a bookstore in Harvard Square with my laptop and a coffee. A woman about my age stood beside me, scrolling her phone. When I got a notification, so did she. She looked up. You Bianca Moore? She asked. I hesitated. Depends. Is my mother suing someone again? She laughed. No. I just saw your story on TikTok. It's been shared like 500,000 times. Someone posted a clip of that family reunion. It's gone viral. Oh. I didn't know how to feel about that. Just wanted to say, she added, you gave a lot of people permission to stop apologizing for who they are. She walked off. And I stood there. In the middle of a world that had once tried to shrink me down into the smallest version of myself, finally seen. So here's what I'll leave you with. I am not the disappointment. I am the evidence of someone else's mistake, and the one who refused to carry it any longer. My name is Bianca Moore. My bill has been paid. My debt too. And my freedom? That's mine to spend. Thank you for listening. If you've ever been someone's scapegoat, someone's excuse, someone's invisible child, let me tell you, there's another side. You're not alone. You're not broken. You are not the cost of someone else's regret. You're the return on surviving it. And that, my friend, is priceless.